Question 1. What is the supreme law of the land?
The answer is the Constitution. The Constitution is the foundation of American government and law. It sets the rules for how the country is governed, and no other law can go against it. This is why it is called the supreme law of the land.
Question 2. What does the Constitution do?
The answer is it sets up the government, defines the government, and protects basic rights of Americans. The Constitution establishes the three branches of government: legislative, executive, and judicial. It describes how power is shared, and it ensures that people's freedoms are safeguarded against misuse of power.
Question 3. The idea of self-government is in the first 3 words of the Constitution. What are these words?
The answer is, we the people. This phrase shows that the authority of government comes directly from the people, not from a king or ruler. It reflects the central idea of democracy, that the government exists to serve the people.
Question 4. What is an amendment?
The answer is a change or an addition to the Constitution. Amendments allow the Constitution to grow and adapt over time. For example, amendments have ended slavery, given women the right to vote, and lowered the voting age to 18. This flexibility is what has kept the Constitution relevant for more than 2 centuries.
Question 5. What do we call the first 10 amendments to the Constitution?
The answer is the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights, added in 1791, guarantees essential freedoms such as freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and the right to fair trial. It was created because many Americans wanted clear protections against government power.
Question 6. What is one right or freedom from the First Amendment?
The answer is speech, religion, assembly, press, or petition the government. The First Amendment guarantees these 5 freedoms so that citizens can express their ideas, practice their faith, meet in groups, publish freely, and ask the government to make changes. These protections are central to American democracy.
Question 7. How many amendments does the Constitution have?
The answer is 27. The Constitution has been amended 27 times since 1787. These amendments include the Bill of Rights, which protects individual freedoms, and later changes such as granting women the right to vote and lowering the voting age to 18.
Question 8. What did the Declaration of Independence do?
The answer is it announced our independence, declared our independence, or said that the United States is free from Great Britain. The Declaration, adopted on July 4, 1776, was written mainly by Thomas Jefferson. It stated the colonies were breaking away from Britain and explained that all people are born with natural rights that governments must respect.
Question 9. What are 2 rights in the Declaration of Independence?
The answer is life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. These words reflect Enlightenment ideals that every person is born with unalienable rights. They have shaped America's values and influenced its laws, ensuring that individual freedom is at the heart of the nation's identity.
Question 10. What is freedom of religion?
The answer is, you can practice any religion or not practice a religion. Unlike many countries in history, the United States does not have an official religion. The government cannot favor one faith over another, and individuals are free to choose or reject any belief system.
Question 11. What is the economic system in the United States?
The answer is a capitalist economy or a market economy. In this system, businesses and individuals decide what to produce and sell, guided by competition and consumer choice. Government regulations exist, but the principle is that markets drive economic activity.
Question 12. What is the rule of law?
The answer is everyone must follow the law. Leaders must obey the law, the government must obey the law, and no one is above the law. This principle ensures fairness and accountability. Even presidents, judges, and lawmakers are bound by the same rules as ordinary citizens, which prevents abuse of power.
Question 13. Name one branch or part of the government.
The answer is Congress, legislative, president, executive, the courts, or judicial. The U.S. government is divided into 3 branches to balance power. The legislative branch makes laws, the executive enforces them, and the judicial interprets them. Together, they form a system of checks and balances.
Question 14. What stops one branch of government from becoming too powerful?
The answer is checks and balances, or separation of powers. This system ensures that each branch can limit the power of the others. For example, the president can veto laws, Congress can override a veto, and the Supreme Court can declare a law unconstitutional.
Question 15. Who is in charge of the executive branch?
The answer is the President. The President enforces federal laws, oversees the military as Commander-in-Chief, and represents the United States in foreign affairs. This role is central to leading the nation and carrying out the laws passed by Congress.
Question 16. Who makes federal laws?
The answer is Congress, the Senate and House of Representatives, or the U.S. Legislature. Congress writes and passes federal laws. It is made up of two chambers, the Senate and the House, which together form the legislative branch.
Question 17. What are the two parts of the U.S. Congress?
The answer is the Senate and the House of Representatives. This division was created to balance power between large and small states. Each state has equal representation in the Senate, while population determines representation in the House.
Question 18. How many U.S. senators are there?
The answer is 100. Every state, regardless of size, elects 2 senators. With 50 states, that adds up to 100 members in the Senate.
Question 19. We elect a U.S. senator for how many years?
The answer is 6 years. Senators serve 6-year terms, which are staggered so that about 1/3 of the Senate is up for election every 2 years. This helps maintain stability in government.
Question 20. Who is one of your state's U.S. senators now?
The answer is Patty Murray or Maria Cantwell for Washington State. Each state has 2 senators who represent all the people of the state, not just one district. Washington's current senators are Patty Murray and Maria Cantwell.
Question 21. The House of Representatives has how many voting members?
The answer is 435. House seats are divided among the states based on population, with larger states having more representatives. The total number is fixed at 435.
Question 22. We elect a U.S. representative for how many years?
The answer is 2 years. House members serve shorter terms than senators, so they face elections more often. This system keeps them closely accountable to the people.
Question 23. Name your U.S. representative.
The answer is Kim Schreier for Woodinville in Washington's 8th Congressional District. Representatives speak for the people of specific areas called districts. Woodinville belongs to the 8th District, and Kim Schreier is the current representative.
Question 24. Who does a U.S. senator represent?
The answer is all people of the state. Unlike representatives who serve as single districts, senators represent everyone in their state, ensuring broad representation at the federal level.
Question 25. Why do some states have more representatives than other states?
The answer is because of the state's population, because they have more people, or because some states have more people. The House is designed to reflect population. States like California, Texas, and Florida have many representatives, while smaller states like Wyoming or Vermont have only one.
Question 26. We elect a president for how many years?
The answer is 4 years. Presidential terms were set at 4 years to balance stability and accountability. A president may serve 2 terms for a maximum of 8 years in office.
Question 27. In what month do we vote for president?
The answer is November. Presidential elections take place every 4 years on the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November. This tradition was chosen to fit with the nation's agricultural past, when farmers had finished harvesting and could travel to vote.
Question 28. What is the name of the President of the United States now?
The answer is Donald J. Trump. Donald Trump, a member of the Republican Party, began his second presidency in January 2025. His role is to enforce federal laws and serve as Commander-in-Chief of the military.
Question 29. What is the name of the Vice President of the United States now?
The answer is J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance, also a Republican, serves as Vice President. He supports the President, presides over the Senate, and is first in line to take over if the President cannot serve.
Question 30. If the President can no longer serve, who becomes President?
The answer is the Vice President. This succession rule ensures continuity of leadership. If the President resigns, dies, or is removed, the Vice President steps in as the nation's leader.
Question 31. If both the President and the Vice President can no longer serve, who becomes President?
The answer is the Speaker of the House. The Speaker of the House is the third in line for the presidency. This plan for succession guarantees that the country will always have a leader, even in emergencies.
Question 32. Who is the Commander-in-Chief of the military?
The answer is the President. The Constitution gives the President ultimate authority over the armed forces, though only Congress can declare war. This arrangement balances civilian leadership with military power.
Question 33. Who signs bills to become laws?
The answer is the president. When Congress passes a bill, it goes to the president's desk. If the president signs it, the bill becomes law. If the president vetoes it, Congress may override the veto with a 2/3 vote.
Question 34. Who vetoes bills?
The answer is the president. The veto power allows the president to reject legislation they disagree with, but Congress can check this power. This back and forth is a key example of checks and balances.
Question 35. What does the president's cabinet do?
The answer is, it advises the president. The cabinet is made up of the vice president and the heads of federal departments like defense, state, and education. They guide the president on national and international issues.
Question 36. What are two cabinet-level positions?
The answer is Secretary of Agriculture, Secretary of Commerce, Secretary of Defense, Secretary of Education, Secretary of Energy, Secretary of Health and Human Services, Secretary of Homeland Security, Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Secretary of the Interior, Secretary of Labor, Secretary of State, Secretary of Transportation, Secretary of the Treasury, Secretary of Veterans Affairs, Attorney General, or Vice President. The President's cabinet is made up of the Vice President and the heads of the 15 executive departments. Each one leads a part of the government's daily operations and provides expert advice to the President.
Question 37. What does the judicial branch do?
The answer is it reviews laws, explains laws, resolves disputes, and decides if a law goes against the Constitution. The judicial branch, headed by the Supreme Court, interprets what laws mean and ensures they follow the Constitution. This power helps protect citizens' rights and keeps the other branches from going beyond their authority.
Question 38. What is the highest court in the United States?
The answer is the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is the top of the judicial system. Its rulings are final and binding on all lower courts, and it often decides cases that shape American society, such as those about civil rights and freedoms.
Question 39. How many justices are on the Supreme Court?
The answer is 9. There are 9 justices, 1 Chief Justice and 8 Associate Justices. This number has been set since 1869. They serve lifetime appointments, ensuring independence from political pressure.
Question 40. Who is the Chief Justice of the United States now?
The answer is John Roberts. John G. Roberts, Jr. has served as Chief Justice since 2005. He leads the court, presides over oral arguments, and has administrative duties while still being one of 9 votes in deciding cases.
Question 41. Under our Constitution, some powers belong to the federal government. What is one power of the federal government?
The answer is to print money, to declare war, to create an army, or to make treaties. The Constitution divides authority between federal and state governments. Federal powers cover national-level issues like defense, currency, and foreign policy.
Question 42. Under our Constitution, some powers belong to the states. What is one power of the states?
The answer is to provide schooling and education, provide protection through police, provide safety through fire departments, give driver's licenses, or approve zoning and land use. States handle many issues closer to daily life. This division of powers allows government to be both strong nationally and responsive locally.
Question 43. Who is the governor of your state now?
The answer is Bob Ferguson, governor of Washington. Governors are the chief executives of their states. They enforce state laws, propose budgets, and can sign or veto state legislation, much like the president does at the federal level.
Question 44. What is the capital of your state?
The answer is Olympia. Olympia is the capital of Washington State. It is home to the governor's office, the state legislature, and other key government institutions.
Question 45. What are the 2 major political parties in the United States?
The answer is Democratic and Republican. Since the mid-1800s, these 2 parties have dominated U.S. politics. While other parties exist, the Democratic and Republican parties are the ones most Americans recognize and support during elections.
Question 46. What is the political party of the president now?
The answer is Republican Party. The United States has 2 main political parties, Democratic and Republican, as of 2025. The president, Donald Trump, is a member of the Republican Party.
Question 47. What is the name of the Speaker of the House of Representatives now?
The answer is Mike Johnson. The Speaker leads the House of Representatives and is second in the presidential line of succession after the Vice President. Mike Johnson, from Louisiana, currently holds this role.
Question 48. There are 4 amendments to the Constitution about who can vote. Describe one of them.
The answer is, citizens 18 and older can vote. You don't have to pay a poll tax to vote. Any citizen can vote, or a male citizen of any race can vote. These amendments gradually expanded voting rights in the United States, ending racial restrictions, ensuring women could vote, lowering the voting age to 18, and eliminating fees that once blocked poorer people from voting.
Question 49. What is one responsibility that is only for United States citizens?
The answer is to serve on a jury or vote in a federal election. While many rights are shared by all residents, these 2 responsibilities, jury duty and voting in national elections, are reserved for citizens as part of participating in democracy.
Question 50. Name one right only for United States citizens.
The answer is to vote in a federal election or run for federal office. These rights are tied to citizenship, ensuring that only members of the nation choose its leaders and hold the highest offices.
Question 51. What are 2 rights of everyone living in the United States?
The answer is freedom of expression, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom to petition the government, freedom of religion, or the right to bear arms. These rights protect all people in the U.S., not just citizens, making sure that the core freedoms of American democracy extend broadly to residents.
Question 52. What do we show loyalty to when we say the Pledge of Allegiance?
The answer is the United States, or the flag. The pledge is a public promise of loyalty to the nation and its values. It is often recited at schools and public events as a reminder of unity.
Question 53. What is one promise you make when you become a United States citizen?
The answer is to give up loyalty to other countries, defend the Constitution and laws, obey the laws, serve in the U.S. military if needed, serve the nation if needed, or be loyal to the United States. These promises reflect the responsibilities of citizenship and the idea that becoming American means fully committing to the country and its values.
Question 54. How old do citizens have to be to vote for president?
The answer is 18 and older. The 26th Amendment, passed in 1971, lowered the voting age from 21 to 18. This change was influenced by the Vietnam War, when young Americans argued that if they were old enough to be drafted, they should be old enough to vote.
Question 55. What are 2 ways that Americans can participate in their democracy?
The answer is vote, join a political party, help with a campaign, join a civic group, join a community group, give an elected official your opinion on an issue, call senators and representatives, publicly support or oppose an issue or policy, run for office or write to a newspaper. Participation in democracy goes beyond voting. Americans are encouraged to be active in their communities and use their voices to influence government.
Question 56. When is the last day you can send in federal income tax forms?
The answer is April 15th. April 15th is known as Tax Day in the United States. On this date each year, citizens and residents must file their income taxes with the Internal Revenue Service unless an extension is requested.
Question 57. When must all men register for the Selective Service?
The answer is at age 18 or between 18 and 26. The Selective Service System is a government agency that keeps records of men who could be called for military service if a draft were ever reinstated. Registration is a legal requirement even though there is currently no draft.
Question 58. What is one reason colonists came to America?
The answer is freedom, political liberty, religious freedom, economic opportunity to practice their religion or to escape persecution. Colonists left Europe seeking a better life, often fleeing religious or political restrictions. America represented opportunity and the chance to start fresh.
Question 59. Who lived in America before the Europeans arrived?
The answer is American Indians or Native Americans. Indigenous peoples had lived across North and South America for thousands of years before European explorers and settlers arrived. They had rich cultures, languages, and traditions.
Question 60. What group of people was taken to America and sold as slaves?
The answer is Africans, or people from Africa. Millions of Africans were forcibly transported across the Atlantic Ocean in the slave trade, and slave people were made to work on plantations and farms, and slavery became a central issue in American history.
Question 61. Why did the colonists fight the British?
The answer is because of high taxes, because the British Army stayed in their houses, or because they didn't have self-government. The colonists resisted British rule because they had no voice in Parliament and objected to being taxed and controlled without representation.
Question 62. Who wrote the Declaration of Independence?
The answer is Thomas Jefferson. Jefferson, a young delegate from Virginia, drafted most of the Declaration, which was adopted on July 4, 1776. His words became the foundation of American liberty.
Question 63. When was the Declaration of Independence adopted?
The answer is July 4, 1776. This date is celebrated each year as Independence Day in the United States. It marks the official break from British rule.
Question 64. There were 13 original states. Name 3.
The answer is New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, or Georgia. These states were once colonies under British rule. They joined together to declare independence and form the new nation.
Question 65. What happened at the Constitutional Convention?
The answer is the Constitution was written, or the Founding Fathers wrote the Constitution. In 1787, delegates met in Philadelphia to improve the Articles of Confederation. Instead, they created a brand new framework of government, the U.S. Constitution.
Question 66. When was the Constitution written?
The answer is 1787. The Constitutional Convention met in Philadelphia in 1787. Delegates debated and compromised for months, creating a new system of government that is still in use today.
Question 67. The Federalist Papers supported the passage of the U.S. Constitution. Name one of the writers.
The answer is James Madison, Alexander Hamilton, John Jay, or Publius. These essays were written to convince Americans to ratify the Constitution. They explained how the new government would work and why it was better than the Articles of Confederation.
Question 68. What is one thing Benjamin Franklin is famous for?
The answer is being a U.S. diplomat, the oldest member of the Constitutional Convention, the first Postmaster General of the United States, the writer of Poor Richard's Almanac, or starting the first free libraries. Franklin was one of the most influential founding fathers, known for his inventions, wisdom, and service to the country.
Question 69. Who is the father of our country?
The answer is George Washington. Washington earned this title for his leadership during the American Revolution and his role as the nation's first president. His example set the standard for future leaders.
Question 70. Who was the first president?
The answer is George Washington. Elected unanimously in 1789, Washington served 2 terms. He declined to run for a 3rd term, setting the tradition of peaceful transfer of power.
Question 71. What territory did the United States buy from France in 1803?
The answer is the Louisiana Territory, or Louisiana. The Louisiana Purchase doubled the size of the United States, adding land from the Mississippi River to the Rocky Mountains. Thomas Jefferson was the president who oversaw the deal.
Question 72. Name one war fought by the United States in the 1800s.
The answer is the War of 1812, the Mexican-American War, the Civil War, or the Spanish-American War. These wars shaped America's borders and future. The Civil War, in particular, determined the survival of the Union and the end of slavery.
Question 73. Name the U.S. war between the North and the South.
The answer is the Civil War, or the war between the states. This conflict, fought from 1861 to 1865, was the deadliest war in American history and decided whether slavery would continue.
Question 74. Name one problem that led to the Civil War.
The answer is slavery, economic reasons, or states' rights. The issue of slavery was the most important cause. Southern states wanted to keep slavery and have more independence from federal control, while the North opposed the spread of slavery.
Question 75. What was one important thing that Abraham Lincoln did?
The answer is he freed the slaves, he saved the Union, or he led the United States during the Civil War. Lincoln is remembered as one of the greatest presidents. His Emancipation Proclamation and his leadership during the Civil War preserved the United States as one nation.
Question 76. What did the Emancipation Proclamation do?
The answer is it freed the slaves. Freed slaves in the Confederacy, freed slaves in the Confederate States, or freed slaves in most southern states. Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863 during the Civil War. It declared enslaved people in areas controlled by the Confederacy to be free, giving the war a moral purpose and paving the way to ending slavery nationwide.
Question 77. What did Susan B. Anthony do?
The answer is she fought for women's rights and fought for civil rights. Anthony was a leading activist in the women's suffrage movement. She worked tirelessly to secure women the right to vote, which was achieved with the 19th Amendment in 1920, after her lifetime.
Question 78. Name one war fought by the United States in the 1900s.
The answer is World War I, World War II, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, or the Persian Gulf War. The United States was deeply involved in global conflicts during the 20th century, which shaped its role as a world leader and defender of democracy.
Question 79. Who was president during World War I?
The answer is Woodrow Wilson. Wilson led the nation from 1913 to 1921 and entered World War I in 1917 to make the world safe for democracy. He later pushed for the League of Nations, a predecessor to the United Nations.
Question 80. Who was president during the Great Depression and World War II?
The answer is Franklin D. Roosevelt. Franklin D. Roosevelt, often called FDR, served 4 terms. He led the nation through the Great Depression with the New Deal and guided the U.S. through most of World War II.
Question 81. Who did the United States fight in World War II?
The answer is Japan, Germany, and Italy. The U.S. entered the war after the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941. Together with its allies, it fought the Axis powers until victory in 1945.
Question 82. Before he was president, Eisenhower was a general. What war was he in?
The answer is World War II. Dwight D. Eisenhower was the supreme commander of Allied forces in Europe. He planned and led the D-Day invasion of Normandy, which was crucial to defeating Nazi Germany.
Question 83. During the Cold War, what was the main concern of the United States?
The answer is communism. The Cold War was a decades-long rivalry between the U.S. and the Soviet Union. America worked to stop the spread of communism around the world through diplomacy, alliances, and sometimes war.
Question 84. What movement tried to end racial discrimination?
The answer is the Civil Rights Movement. In the 1950s and 1960s, leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. fought to end segregation and secure equal rights for African Americans through protests, marches, and legal challenges.
Question 85. What did Martin Luther King Jr. do?
The answer is he fought for civil rights and worked for equality for all Americans. King is remembered for his leadership in the Civil Rights Movement, his I Have a Dream speech, and his commitment to nonviolent protest, which helped bring about major legal and social changes.
Question 86. What major event happened on September 11, 2001 in the United States?
The answer is terrorists attacked the United States. On that day, hijacked airplanes struck the World Trade Center in New York City and the Pentagon near Washington, D.C. A 4th plane crashed in Pennsylvania. Nearly 3,000 people were killed, and the event led to major changes in U.S. security and foreign policy.
Question 87. Name one American Indian tribe in the United States.
The answer is Cherokee, Navajo, Sioux, Chippewa, Choctaw, Pueblo, Apache, Iroquois, Creek, Blackfeet, Seminole, Cheyenne, Arawak, Shawnee, Mohegan, Huron, Oneida, Lakota, Crow, Teton, Hopi, or Inuit. There are many federally recognized tribes, each with its own culture, language, and history. Native Americans were the first inhabitants of the land and remain an important part of the nation today.
Question 88. Name one of the 2 longest rivers in the United States.
The answer is the Missouri River or the Mississippi River. The Mississippi River runs over 2,300 miles from Minnesota to the Gulf of Mexico, while the Missouri River, its longest tributary, stretches even farther. These rivers have been vital for transportation, trade, and settlement.
Question 89. What ocean is on the west coast of the United States?
The answer is the Pacific Ocean. The Pacific Ocean is the largest body of water in the world, and it borders the U.S. states of California, Oregon, Washington, Alaska, and Hawaii.
Question 90. What ocean is on the east coast of the United States?
The answer is the Atlantic Ocean. The Atlantic borders states like New York, Florida, and Massachusetts. It has long been a gateway for trade and immigration, connecting the U.S. with Europe and Africa.
Question 91. Name one U.S. territory.
The answer is Puerto Rico, U.S. Virgin Islands, American Samoa, Northern Mariana Islands, or Guam. These territories are part of the United States, but are not states. People living there are U.S. citizens or nationals, though their voting rights in federal elections may differ.
Question 92. Name one state that borders Canada.
The answer is Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, Minnesota, North Dakota, Montana, Idaho, Washington, or Alaska. The U.S. shares the longest international border in the world with Canada, stretching more than 5,500 miles.
Question 93. Name one state that borders Mexico.
The answer is California, Arizona, New Mexico, or Texas. These states form the U.S.-Mexico border, which stretches nearly 2,000 miles and is significant for trade, culture, and immigration.
Question 94. What is the capital of the United States?
The answer is Washington, D.C., founded in 1790. Washington, D.C. is not a state but a federal district. It is home to the White House, Congress, and the Supreme Court.
Question 95. Where is the Statue of Liberty?
The answer is New York Harbor or Liberty Island. The statue was a gift from France in 1886 and has become a global symbol of freedom and democracy. It is located in New York Harbor, though it is close to New Jersey as well.
Question 96. Why does the flag have 13 stripes?
The answer is because there were 13 original colonies, or because the stripes represent the original colonies. The 13 colonies declared independence from Britain in 1776 and later became the first states of the United States. The stripes on the flag honor this foundation of the nation.
Question 97. Why does the flag have 50 stars?
The answer is because there is one star for each state, because each star represents a state, or because there are 50 states. The flag changed over time as the nation grew. Today's version with 50 stars reflects the admission of Hawaii as the 50th state in 1959.
Question 98. What is the name of the national anthem?
The answer is The Star-Spangled Banner. The anthem was written by Francis Scott Key during the War of 1812 after he saw the American flag still flying above Fort McHenry following a night of heavy bombardment by the British.
Question 99. When do we celebrate Independence Day?
The answer is July 4th. On this day in 1776, the Declaration of Independence was adopted, marking the nation's break from British rule. Independence Day is celebrated with fireworks, parades, and gatherings across the country.
Question 100. Name two national U.S. holidays.
The answer is New Year's Day, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, President's Day, Memorial Day, Juneteenth Independence Day, Labor Day, Columbus Day, Veterans Day, Thanksgiving, or Christmas. National holidays are times when the country pauses to honor important events, people, or traditions in American history and culture.